The sun glints off the glass towers of South Florida's skyline, a glittering promise of paradise. But beneath that shine, something's shifting fast. In 2021 alone, 330,000 newcomers flooded into this slice of heaven, chasing the dream of sun, sand, and a fresh start. And with them came a tidal wave of demand, pushing home prices higher and higher. What was once a quiet escape is now a battleground for space, where every square foot comes at a premium. The market's on fire and everyone's scrambling to keep up. Welcome to the new South Florida, where the only thing moving faster than the people is the price tag. The storm was brewing long before the first raindrop fell. Hurricane Erin, a swirling monster of wind and water, had set its sights on the coast, and the ripple effects were already being felt far from the shoreline. Home sales, once steady and strong, took a nosedive as buyers hesitated, waiting to see what damage the storm might bring. Investors, always quick to sense danger, pulled back, their confidence shaken like leaves in a gale. The numbers told the story plainly: a 21% drop in home sales, a stark reminder of how fragile the market could be when nature decided to flex its muscles. People held their breath, watching the forecasts, wondering if their dreams of a new home would be washed away with the tide. The storm hadn't even made landfall yet, but its shadow was already casting doubt over the future. Governor Dantis stood at the podium, his expression tight as he addressed the crowd. The numbers were in, and they weren't good. Home sales had plummeted by 21% in just 1 month. That wasn't just a dip, it was a free fall, and everyone in the room knew what it meant. Jobs were on the line, budgets were tightening, and voters were getting nervous. He leaned into the microphone, his voice steady but strained. We're facing real challenges right now, no question about it. But this isn't just about numbers on a spreadsheet, it's about families wondering if they can afford their next mortgage payment. It's about small businesses feeling the pinch when fewer people are moving in or upgrading their homes. The reporters scribbled notes, their questions already forming. The opposition would pounce on this, painting it as a failure of leadership. But Dantis wasn't backing down. We've got a plan to stabilize the market, to work with lenders and builders to get things moving again. This isn't the time for panic, it's the time for action. Behind the scenes, though, the pressure was mounting. If this trend didn't reverse, the economic ripple effects would be brutal. And in an election year, that kind of instability could cost him more than just votes. You know, Miami-Dade's housing market has been on fire lately. Just a year ago, the median sale price for a home was sitting pretty at around $470,000. But now, it's shot up a whopping 17%, pushing close to $550,000. That's a huge leap, and it's changing the game for buyers and sellers alike. Picture this: sleek, modern homes with sparkling pools, palm trees swaying in the breeze, and price tags that seem to climb higher every time you blink. These aren't just houses. They're statements, and the numbers back it up. Whether it's a waterfront property or a chic downtown condo, the demand is driving prices through the roof. If you're in the market, you're feeling the heat. And if you're selling, well, let's just say it's a great time to be holding the keys. The sun beats down on a sprawling construction site in West Palm Beach, where cranes stretch toward the sky and workers move in a steady rhythm. The hum of progress fills the air as another luxury home takes shape. It's a scene playing out all over the city, where new construction prices have skyrocketed past $900,000. An eye-popping jump of over 40% from just 2 years ago. Back then, you could still find a newly built home for under $650,000. But as demand surged and materials got pricier, those days faded fast. By last year, the average had already climbed to $750,000. Now, it's pushing $1 million, and there's no sign of slowing down. The timeline tells the story. Steady increases month after month with no relief in sight. For buyers, it's a tough market. For builders, it's just another day at the office. You know, there's something striking about Palm Beach County these days. The folks moving in, they're bringing some serious money with them. The average income for newcomers, over $150,000 a year. That's not just a little more than what longtime residents are making, it's double. You heard that right, double. Think about what that means for a second. If you've been living here for years, maybe even decades, your household income is likely sitting around $75,000. Meanwhile, the new neighbors pulling up next door, they're making twice that. It's not just a gap, it's a canyon, and it's changing the face of the county in ways big and small. This isn't just about numbers on a spreadsheet. It's about who can afford what, where people can live, and how the whole community feels the shift. When you've got one group earning that much more, it ripples through everything: housing, schools, even the local businesses that pop up to cater to those deeper pockets. The contrast is stark, and it's hard to ignore. The kitchen table was cluttered with bills, takeout containers, and a half-empty coffee cup. Maria sat with her head in her hands, staring at the latest mortgage statement. "How are we supposed to keep up with this?" she muttered. Across from her, Jake rubbed his temples, the numbers on the calculator glowing red in the dim light. "It's not just us," he said. "Monthly mortgage payments in West Palm Beach doubled from $1,100 to over $2,200 since 2021. The numbers on the screen flipped higher, like a ticking clock counting down to something they couldn't stop. Maria let out a shaky breath. "We can't afford this, not with the kids' school fees and the car payment." Jake reached for her hand. "We'll figure it out. Maybe we can refinance or—" His voice trailed off as the calculator beeped, the final number staring back at them, cold and unyielding. 6 insurance carriers have failed in Florida since 2022, leaving homeowners scrambling for coverage. The collapse has hit hard across the state, with thousands of policies canceled and families left vulnerable. Areas along the coast and inland regions alike are feeling the strain as residents struggle to find new providers. The ripple effects are spreading, raising concerns about affordability and stability in an already volatile market. For many, the search for reliable insurance has become a daily battle, adding another layer of stress to life in the Sunshine State. Citizens, the state-run insurer, has become a cornerstone of protection for homeowners across the state. With a logo that stands for stability and trust, it's grown to cover over 1.3 million homes, a number that's nearly doubled in just 2 years. That's a massive leap, reflecting how more and more people are turning to Citizens for reliable coverage. The numbers don't lie, and the steady climb on the graph tells the story of an insurer stepping up when it's needed most. Whether it's rising costs or shifting risks, Citizens is there, expanding its reach to keep families safe. The skies darkened as the winds picked up, howling like a freight train barreling down the tracks. Trees bent under the force, their branches snapping like twigs. The storm wasn't just coming, it was here, and it was hungry. A single Category 4 hurricane could tear through everything in its path, leaving nothing but wreckage behind. And for Citizens, that wreckage wouldn't just be homes and businesses, it would be their $6.5 billion surplus, gone in weeks. The financial devastation would be swift, brutal, and unforgiving. One storm was all it would take to unravel years of careful planning, leaving them scrambling to pick up the pieces. The storm wasn't just a force of nature, it was a financial time bomb, ticking down to zero. The situation is critical, and time is running out. We've got a narrow window to act before things spiral out of control. The stakes are higher than ever. If we don't move fast, the consequences will be severe and far-reaching. Every second counts, and hesitation isn't an option. The key points are clear. We need to secure the perimeter, rally our resources, and execute the plan without delay. There's no room for error, no time for second-guessing. The clock is ticking, and we have to make our move now. The longer we wait, the harder it'll be to turn things around. So let's lock in, stay sharp, and get it done before it's too late.